there, Katie Joy, the Global Butterfly, and I am super excited to bring you this week's episode, which is 5 ways to naturally boost your energy. This is a big one. I don't know about you, but do you often feel like you're tired and sluggish, or maybe even just burnt out? Maybe you're a parent like me, and you have high demands from your child or children, which are taxing, right? On top of living life, maybe working or building your business. Or maybe that you already have good energy, but you know you're not naturally peaking your performance and you want to take it to that next level. Well, this episode is for you. So these 5 natural ways to boost your energy are really, really important. The first one, I can't express how important, especially as a parent, right? And it is sleep. Prioritizing sleep as your number one focus to improve your health. If we don't get enough sleep, it really impacts, especially when it's repeated over and over again. It becomes, well, quite frankly, torture. I have had 4.5 years at the beginning of my journey of motherhood as a single parent as well, and during that time there was very little sleep, and I really had to optimize every little snippet that I could grab throughout my day and the evening. I literally ran on maybe an hour or two at a time, of hours at a time at most, to function, which, I didn't function at my optimal best. I still functioned well, relatively, but it wasn't my peak performance. However, it was temporary. And now I've got better opportunities to sleep more, but I make sure that I'm in bed really early. I'm a morning person. I don't know about you. Are you a morning person or a night owl? But there is a lot of research and studies that show that if you're asleep between the hours of 10 and 2, which are the most critical hours for sleep, you actually increase the hormonal balancing of your body, the benefits on your brain and your function ability improves dramatically. So, yep, I definitely make it a habit of going to bed as early as possible, and I rise up fairly early because I like to use those few hours in the morning when the rest of the world feels like they're asleep for me to really be creative, and I'm functioning, and I have my time for myself to read and journal and be creative, put my attention and my mind on the goals that I'm creating, and just prepare for my day. Sometimes it's just cleaning the house and clearing out the area, right? Sometimes it's packing lunches for school. Sometimes it includes maybe doing a couple of hours of work before I even start the day. And that way I've got more time off throughout the day as well to rest again. So that's a key one there, because that will improve your ability to think more clearly. It'll improve your ability to just have more energy. You will make better quality decisions in your life, and it improves your health overall, including your immune system. So you end up having a lot less illness and sickness when you get lots of quality sleep. That's a different pattern and blueprint for everyone. So you just got to figure out what works well for you. So number 2, I definitely want to include this one as the second top priority, and that's hydration. If our body, especially as adults, we are 60 to 70% water. That's a pretty big significant amount, don't you think? So it's really important that for the cellular function that we have, and to make sure that the cells are uptaking the nutrients that we put into our body, that our brain is functioning well, it's buoyed in a lot of water. Our immune system is working well, we're reducing inflammation because we're putting a lot more water into the system, cooling the system down, so we're regulating our body temperature. And there's so many other benefits by making sure that you are drinking enough water. In fact, water is even more important than number 3. And number 3 is nutrition. Nutrition is important, and it's something that is we're bombarded with all these ideas of what we're supposed to eat. But the reality is, society is set up to be very highly convenient, including all these microwaved fast foods or foods out at restaurants or takeaway foods. And quite frankly, none of that is any good for you, right? It is not the best food, the optimal food for your best energy. The best energy fuel that you're going to put in is the natural food in its rawest state, and by raw I don't mean by eating raw meat, right? But I mean, like, it's unprocessed. It's not packed with hormones or vaccines or pumped full of antibiotics when it comes to meat, fish, and chicken and anything else that is a flesh food, right? But you want to cook those foods and use them in the way that's going to benefit your body. But I'm also talking about the raw vegetables and fruits where they're not laden with pesticides and herbicides and they've been sitting in storage for weeks, months, or years, right? And they're depleted in their nutritional quality for your body. So by the time you absorb them, they're not really going to do that well for you. The best thing, and it's not necessarily practical for everybody, but I'm going to set you a challenge, is to start growing some of your own food. You don't have to have a big backyard, and you certainly can do this even if you're renting or even in a small unit where maybe you might only have a little bit of a balcony area. You can grow food in pots. Let me prove it to you. Let me show you my garden. Have a look at this. Now that you're back, was that inspiring? Now that started with one tree, one blood orange tree that I was gifted. And I made a decision prior to getting that tree, which I asked for it for a Christmas present from my parents nearly 3 years ago, I think. And what happened is I had this dream, this vision of, wow, I'm going to have my own major, block of land, like an acreage, and I want to have my little mini orchard. I want to have a big veggie patch with big nets and a big greenhouse. I want to grow my own food. And I thought, well, I'm not necessarily in that block of land yet, but I can start. And I made the decision to create a potted garden. And so it started with one tree. I now have 28 fruit trees and nut trees. And as you can see, lots of vegetables growing as well in different ways, using a vertical wall garden or using pots. And some of those are mobile pots, some of them small pots, some are bigger pots. But you can get creative too and grow some of the things that are going to be really beneficial to you. Even just having lettuce and rocket and spring onions or green onions if you're in the USA or Canada, that's what you guys call them. Mini tomatoes, those sorts of things are easy to grow and they definitely will add more flavor, as well as if you throw in the basil and the parsley and the oregano and the coriander. Those are really yummy and delicious. And they're really, really simple to grow. So, try some of those for yourself as well for the nutrition. Making sure that you are deleting out as much of the processed foods as possible and really being aware of what you're putting into your body is what you become. You literally are what you eat. Number 4, movement. Now, this is a tough one if you're lacking energy, because if you are sleep deprived for a long time and you're experiencing chronic fatigue, then exercising is just really low priority on your list, right? In fact, it can even make you feel worse. But that's if you're trying to do some of the high energy work or the real high strength training work, maybe the way that you were before you felt chronic fatigue or really exhausted. So what you want to do instead in those moments is you still ideally want to move, you just want to do it gently and intentionally. And so that you can improve the ability, the function of your body, increasing some muscle mass, increasing bone density and strength, and really allowing that oxygen to flow in your body and eliminating a lot of the toxins by moving. And it could be as simple as 10 minutes walking a day, or going for a short hike, a simple one, or walk on the beach, or going for a swim. Or maybe it's just yoga or some simple stretches. That's going to help assist you with the movement. Again, there was a big period of time where I actually put on a fair bit of weight, and then I was tired and exhausted. It just all compounded. It was just really not a lot of fun time. The last thing I wanted to do was move. And so I didn't really push myself, because if I did, I found I needed to sleep for 2-3 hours right on the back of that, right? But what I did is I started to use some simple stretches just while I was in bed or on the floor. And then I allowed myself to just take a next step each time it felt like, oh, I've got more energy now, I'm going to go for a walk, or I'm just going to go for that hike. So move, but do it in a way that feels good for you. No one else is in the competition with you. It's just simply for you to feel good, naturally boost your own energy. All right, that leaves us to number 5, which is elimination. And this one's really important because it's not just, physical elimination of foods maybe, or too much alcohol or cigarettes or anything else that really isn't good for you, right? You want to eliminate those. At least reduce it. Eliminate them as much as possible to naturally increase your energy. But you also want to look at things like, emotional, so looking at addressing some of the old trauma wounds or things that you've been avoiding looking at, or unhealed experiences. That is really important because our subconscious mind and our body stores all that until we actually resolve and dissolve it. And when we do that, we release a whole lot more energy that allows my water. A reminder for drinking lots of water. But when we release blocked energy in our bodies or energy blocks, it allows us to have the energy flowing again to be able to put into creating more in our life. That's really magical. That's where the juicy stuff happens. And it's a challenge because a lot of people don't want to go into that space and look at the shadow work. Often because we're not really taught what the tools are. We don't even know it's a possibility to do something. And we're still probably reacting subconsciously to old coping mechanisms in order to move forward from that original point of origin of the event where it was a real survival for us, right? But now that we're older, the event's still locked up in the body and the subconscious mind. But when it's released, it allows you to be in your full integrated state. It allows you to use that energy to be able to move forward, and it allows a lot of healing, awakening to what you want to actually create in your life and manifesting more in your dreams and bringing them into reality. So that's pretty powerful. But it requires releasing a lot of the stuff that is holding in our body, that energy being blocked. So it's releasing stuff physically, so stuff out of our diet, but also on our skin and in our environment. So environmental detox and eliminating the toxins in our environment. So laundry powders, soap detergents, and this isn't saying eliminate them completely, just replace them with things that are going to be more natural, organic, and definitely not causing any toxic chemical harm to our bodies, which the chemicals in a lot of the laundry powders, the soaps, the dishwashing liquid, the dishwasher cell tablets. There's one called Fairy in Australia, and I can smell how toxic that is. My mum used it for a little while, and I was just like, you have to stop using that because it literally hurts my brain for 2 days after I leave. I can smell it. I can feel the transfer onto the food when I have anything on the plate. These are real hormone disruptors to the body, which are really, really bad, right? But there's also things like colognes and perfumes, even poor quality essential oils. Even overindulging in essential oils, doing too much too often is annoying, right? It can be toxic for the body. But things like shampoo, conditioner, makeup, skincare products, deodorants, a lot of these contain heavy metals which enter into the brain and block your energy. They certainly don't do anything to serve you to awaken to your intuition and your highest potential. And they really do block your ability for that hormone balance, which really the target's whole nother discussion, but your pituitary gland and your pineal gland in your brain, which are really, really important for you to be in your most awakened state. So you want to physically eliminate toxins, you want to emotionally eliminate. So it's also including being mindful who you are surrounding yourself with, and that includes the conversation in your own head, right? Emotional detox, so that's the energetic detox. You also want to be able to environmental detox, and I mentioned the physical detox as well. So, which includes nutrition. So, hopefully these 5 key things are really valuable for you. I'll cover them again. Top, 5 natural ways to boost your energy, and making these a priority are sleep, hydration, nutrition, movement or exercise, and making sure that elimination. Part of that elimination too with the physical diet, I wanted to talk about a physical detox, which includes fasting, picking a program that works for you, but including it, so that gives your body the chance to balance and relax, release, and eliminate a lot of the toxins that have been built up, but also so that you can really participate in that spiritual awakening energetically, which allows your whole mind, body, and spirit to align for you to awaken, heal, and activate your dreams into reality. So if you loved this video or podcast today, then please click the like, subscribe, and share it with a friend or a family member who you know might really benefit from this too. Or go ahead and share it on social media right now. We'd really appreciate it to help me get some more subscribers to the channel. That would be amazing. So thank you in advance, and I'll see you at the next episode.